I dig that place. Not the sort of place I want to take a drive, like, you know what I mean, that I'm going to drive all the way out here from where I live just to go to. Although it seems like that might have been what just happened right now, as Al is not answering his phone. It's kind of weird. I tried calling from the iPhone and I didn't hear any ring or anything. Just dead silence on the line. The phone said calling. The phone said calling, and then it went to his voicemail, and it was like a very generic, you know, the number blah blah blah, please leave a message, followed by a different recording saying that the mailbox is full. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And just for shits and grins, I tried calling from Obamaphone 5, since that one has service. And that was more normal. Like, I just got a pretty normal ring type sound, but same thing, went to voicemail and to another recording saying that the mailbox was full. So that kind of sucks. Trying to envision this corner here, and I'm curious how far in that direction the property goes that is looked at being redeveloped. But kind of imagining a multi-use development being put in here. I would imagine it'd be something similar to this, and I just noticed that place changed names. Now it's called The Access Premier Apartments. I forget what it used to be called. It was something with Metro in the name, because that building there has a really large parking garage under it that also doubles as a park and ride location for the light rail station there. Sometimes I forget that's one of those places that I can get away with parking and leaving my car for pretty much all day. I forget about that all the time. You know, that's actually not a bad place to park when I'm heading over to Al's cell phone shop. Although I did good getting a shaded parking spot today. I just parked over by where the motorcycle club, and I don't know the name of the motorcycle club over there. Hey, there goes a Waymo. Definitely driven by a robot right now. I could clearly see that there was no driver behind the wheel. Speaking of robot cars, I tried to sign up for the cruise thing, and yeah, really frustrating application process. It sent me the link. It wasn't just a thing of responding to the email. There was a link in the email that sent me to a Google Docs page with like an interactive survey. And I went through like several pages of it, and then I got to a place where it was asking, well, what zip codes do you travel to? And then there was a link that opened another browser tab with a zip code map. So I'm searching the zip code map. I mean, I know I live at 85008, but I don't know off the top of my head all the zip codes that I travel to. I've always considered zip codes to be really only useful for the post office. I don't understand why anybody else even uses them. Oh shit, there's Al. I gotta bounce. Well, that was super awkward. I noticed there was a woman there in like a Lincoln Town car, which is why I kind of ducked over here just to get my thoughts out about the sign-up process for the cruise thing. Cruise autonomous cars. Some kind of a gas-powered bicycle. There's a fine line between what is a motorcycle and what is a gas-powered bicycle, and that thing was just right on that line. So anyway, yeah, I'd come over here to not be awkward with her and kind of get my thing on. So I figured I'd, get my thoughts out and then step over. And then when I glanced over, I noticed that Al was standing right by there talking to her, so I wanted to get his attention. So I quickly ended the video, and as I came over here, he was getting in the car with her right over there and jumping in the passenger seat. And right as he was pulling out, I was like, hey, and I kind of waved, and he waved back, and then they left. So obviously he saw me, he waved back. I don't know if he recognized me or not. And now I'm wondering if it's even worth the effort to stay here, because he generally shuts down at 7. And it's 6:28, so will he be back and be working more in the next 30 minutes? I don't know. It's debatable. It's debatable. Oh, I just noticed another business located here. He left the open sign in place, but I get the feeling he just leaves it like that all the time. Although, yeah. Well, shit. It's latched, but he left the gate open. So maybe he's coming back. I don't know. I'm about ready to roll out of here. I do know one thing for certain. Even if he does get back at 7, he's not going to have enough time to fix the phone, and I don't want to be without the iPhone all night. So I'd mentioned the only businesses that I knew off the top of my head that were still functioning here was Al's cell phone shop, AZ Cell Phones, and the Hookah Lounge, which is right there in front of me. I don't know the name of it, but I do know that place is popping at night. And then the place that has no sign, which is totally hidden, which takes up most of the back building, which is a clubhouse for a motorcycle club. And when I roll out of here, I'm going to explain like what my connection is to that, because it's fun. Just notice this. Gilgal Baptist Ministry. Okay. It would appear there is a church right here. I've seen churches in, I was going to say stranger places, but to be completely honest, in equally strange places. I can't think of a church in a stranger place than that. I've shown up to churches like that and felt like I stumbled into something that was notable. Something where there was some kind of real ministry going on. And a group of people that definitely had faith and were meeting together to do the church thing in a way that was meaningful and not just for show, and got more out of going to those sort of odd little churches than I have of any big mega church. Not like I'm really a church person these days, but generally speaking, I go into a mega church and I just feel like I'm watching a bunch of theatrics that isn't really based in anything biblical, and I can't get with that. So the other stuff here, there's Urban Cuts, Barber and Saloon. Urban Cuts and Color. Appointments and walk-ins available. Love is in the hair. Black Sails Tattoo Parlor. That's kind of awesome. There's still some stuff like in this dead little strip mall. There's still some little businesses surviving here that are the kind of mom and pop businesses plus church that need to be in a decaying, kind of rough condition strip mall in order to survive. They need a place that is this low rent for their businesses to survive. And just the opening of a really nice mixed use development, I'm going to assume this little wall here is the property line. And I'm going to also assume that this little wall here is the other property line going down to Apache. And there's still a mobile home park over there. I'm curious if that plot includes the mobile home park. Because I could see it including the little strip mall I'm standing at the corner of. I could also see it including the mobile home park. Because I'm looking at size-wise, like how far it is from here to McClintock, going that direction, how far it is from here to Apache. And I'm ballparking that at about an acre. And I did see that was a 2 acre, like the proposal is 1.98 acres, so functionally 2 acres. So it's got to include more land than just the old Pep Boys site. All right, there seem to be some wandering homeless types that were headed my direction, and before I run into hostility of, hey, why are you filming me? Why are you filming me? I'm not filming you. I'm filming the plot of land that you guys are kind of trespassing on. But yeah, before I run into that conflict, I think I shall just exit stage left. Which is a bummer, because I kind of wanted to walk through the rest of this decaying strip mall. I noticed one other functioning business here. And the other thing I noticed was a digital palm tree. And I love our Arizona digital palm trees. I'll get the digital palm tree there. Yeah, one of those is not a real palm tree. It's a digital palm tree. And I just think that's one of the best possible ways to disguise a cell site. like a cell phone, transmission site, and make it kind of fit into the landscape. To me, that's a lot more attractive than just a pole with a bunch of antennas on it. So yeah, this whole space over here to the right, which looks abandoned, that's actually where at least I'm hoping it's still where the motorcycle clubhouse is. I do see a huge area here that says motorcycle parking only. And I would imagine that if they moved somewhere, they would have taken that little sign with them. The hookah lounge is called VIP Hookah Room. I've seen that place packed at night. They just don't function this time of day. Empty space, empty space, empty space. And then on the right, we've got AKO, International Market, African, Caribbean, Oriental, Hispanic, African goods, African clothing, movies, and more. So I would imagine that's probably immigrant owned and operated, that really caters to a certain type of immigrant, to give them foods and clothing from home, and I'm all for that. That's a good thing. I'm glad they're able to find a place where the rent is low enough they can afford to function. And this small space here I've mentioned before is where used to be a really great karaoke bar called Starters, and it does still say Starters on the curb, even though the sign is long gone. I'm not sure how many years it's been since Starters has been out of business, but it's certainly been a while. God, such good times in Starters. I don't think I ever came there after I moved into the Arcadia area, but I lived in Tempe basically from like 2006 to about 2016, roughly a decade, and came to Starters many times in that decade, and it's a spot I miss for sure. Oh, so where to go to next? I don't know, but I should adjust that cell phone. That's a terrible angle. That's a little better. Yeah, I don't know if Al is coming back. The fact that he left his security gate not latched would suggest he's coming back. But even if he gets there at 7, I don't expect he'll have time to fix my iPhone. My guess is he didn't recognize me and just didn't want to. The other person was giving me rideshare driver vibes, or possibly VIP sedan driver vibes. Definitely professional driver vibes. And my guess is that he was probably on the clock with her and was more concerned about not wasting his money or her time, and just straight up didn't recognize me. Because I think if he would have recognized me, he'd at least said, "Oh, Daniel, I'll be right back," or "I won't be right back," but who knows. Anyway, I'm not holding that against him whatsoever. I am a like thinking now that I should have maybe spent less time at Tempe. Whoa, see a woman walking with the backpack on the right? Assuming she's homeless, she'd clean up really nice. Of course, she could be just somebody who's walking. You never know. You never know when you see somebody walking with a backpack. They could be homeless, or they could just be carless. Or they could have a car and are just choosing not to drive. There are people who occasionally do that, other than myself. I need to get my cell phone, or my iPhone plugged in. Just trying to work on editing video. It's taking me forever. Like, it's taken me the bulk of this week to upload the videos from, I want to say July 9th, but at this point I'm up to editing July 10th. But yeah, the editing process and the uploading process, I just literally have no time to spend on it. So yeah, I'm getting obscenely behind on it. I was working on editing it a little bit, and then realized that I was down to less than 10% power, and there's no way I would be able to even upload it there. I didn't ask them about charging my phone there. I guess it's possible I could have, but yeah, I basically finished my tacos and bounced, but I did take my sweet time finishing my tacos. God, those tacos are so good. Free fish tacos, and like street taco style, but a little better. Like, they're pretty generous with the fried fish. I have no idea what kind of fish it is, but it's good. Tastes good. Some kind of like a creamy chipotle sauce on it, and then they give me some salsa, which I added to it, and cabbage. More than just cabbage on it. it's not guacamole actually. No, there's slices of avocado. Wow, a lot of Waymo traffic on McClintock today on a small corn tortilla. I feel like there's more to it than that. Maybe there's not. I don't know. It's freaking delicious though. And while they're not huge, like there's 3 of them and they're not like skimpy either. It seems like a screaming deal for $4. I mean, I would expect to pay $4 each for those at a respectable taco truck. I forget what my PBR cost. All I know is that tacos plus taxes plus a pint of PBR plus a $2 tip, which seems pretty, I don't know if I want to say generous, but pretty reasonable on a $8 tab. Well, it was actually $8.02, so I tipped $1.98 just to keep it even. But yeah, my total keep it $10. All right, got my transmission slipping again. That's fabulous. Yeah, I want to say I just need to go home, but I do need to go to Fry's to get cat food and cat litter. But yeah, my iPhone charger is yeah. When there's that much of a backup onto the left turn lane to go west on the 202 from northbound McClintock, I could have totally pulled in there between that pickup truck and that red Chevy Veo. I totally could have done that. In fact, you know what? Anybody who's just not paying attention to their lane position deserves to be cut off. I didn't cut him off either, by the way. I hope you all saw in the video that truck was just lollygagging. So, now is he preparing to pass me on the right? No, he's just kind of keeping pace with me on the right. Whatever. Guy left more than enough space for me to change lanes, so why the hell not? I'm not the one that made it slower for the people behind him to get onto the freeway. He is. I just took up some empty available space. I was fully prepared to just keep going straight. I was going to come across on either McDowell or Curry, or maybe both. Not both, but we can do a combination of both. I never have a set route. I just kind of flow with the changes and be prepared to do whatever is going to cause me to spend the least time sitting and waiting in traffic. But yeah, I think I'm going to go home right now. I know the cats are going to give me a ration of shit, particularly Sambo, when all I give them is kibble once again. I gave them the last can of canned food yesterday. But I've about had it with that giant fireball in the sky that makes me sweat. Yeah, I think I'll chill at home, enjoy my Wi-Fi, enjoy my music, and try to get some video edited and uploaded. And we'll head out. After the sun has gone down, it's cooled down a little bit. And you think by now I know off the top of my head what time that Fry's closes, but I really don't. Can't remember if it's 10 or 11. I'm pretty sure if I head out there at night at like 9 p.m., I'm good to go. So I was going to talk about the motorcycle club that has a clubhouse there in that strip mall and how it is that I'm connected to it and that I know it. As I've mentioned a million times, I'm very into karaoke, very much. I don't know if integral is the right word, but a known part of the karaoke scene here. I'm very known in the karaoke scene here, such as it is. And not only as a host, but as somebody who likes to go out to different places and sings and is a above average and generally entertaining singer. And as such, I know a lot of other people that like to go out and sing karaoke, and I know a lot of other people that are also karaoke hosts. And my friend Billy Muda is all of that. Plus, he's been a frontman of several different local bands, and I'm a little embarrassed that at the moment the names of absolutely none of them are coming to mind. Oh, it's terrible. Because I've seen him play with like 2 different bands, but I can't think of the name of any of his bands at the moment. All right, we got cars weaving in and out of traffic. over 60 at a 65. And I'm generally speaking keeping pace with this black car. Now, to be fair, he's getting passed on the right. He should really get in the right lane. And contrary to popular belief, the right lane is not the slow lane. The right lane is the through traffic lane. Everybody should be keeping to the right except to pass. If you're not actively passing, you don't belong in any lane but the right lane. If you're the only car on the road, you should be in the right lane, even if you're doing 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. That's how freeways are supposed to work. It doesn't usually work out that way in the United States, but that's how they're supposed to work. I still keep forgetting to link. There's a guy who did a really good video about it, talking from a perspective of how Germans drive on the Autobahn, and it's something that's taught to get most European driver's licenses, but yeah, most Americans don't get it. Oh, this is a slow lane. That's where you drive when you're slow. It's like, no, that's the through lane. Everybody should keep right unless they're actively passing. The guy in the black car, like, he's not only not passing, but he's getting passed on the right. He really should be changing lanes. So, anyway, so Billy Muna, who's been in several bands, none of which I can remember the name to because my memory sucks like that. Penga, I think that was the name of one of them. You can look him up. He's actually got a Wikipedia page. He's a prominent enough local musician, and he's fronted good enough bands that he does have a Wikipedia page. I should link the Wikipedia page for my friend Billy Muna. Billy's been a good friend of mine. And I'm not just saying it's like name dropping somebody that I just happen to know. Like, I've spent many times, I've met Billy's parents. I've hung out at his house when he was staying with his parents. I've hung out at his apartment with his girlfriend or so-called girlfriend or whatever they are. It's a confusing and strange relationship. Yeah, no, Billy's a good friend of mine. And sometimes we go quite a while without seeing each other. And right now is one of those periods. I don't have a current phone number for him. I just don't. Presumably he has my number because my number stays the same. Although, you know, I go through these periods where where my phone is broken. So people call it, they can't get a hold of me, and they think, oh, Dan doesn't have a number anymore. No, I always have the same number. I just sometimes I'm not particularly good at answering it. If you don't get through, call back in a couple of weeks. If the text message doesn't get returned, try texting me in a couple of weeks. It just means I broke my iPhone screen again, or it got stolen, and I'm trying to find another cheap to free phone that I can drop the SIM card in. So anyway, they hired Billy Muna, and I'm sure they hired him through a karaoke company he was hosting through. I don't think Billy has his own karaoke system and library at this point in time. I think he did at one time, but I do think they specifically asked for him through the karaoke service that he hosts through. So he was hosting there, and he got permission from the guys at the motorcycle club that if he had any friends that wanted to come, as long as, let them know they got to pay for drinks, but there's no admission or nothing. As long as he used his judgment and thought that there were people that would be cool hanging in a clubhouse for a motorcycle club, that you can invite some people, and we can get some more people in here that actually like to sing. Maybe that'll get the bikers more interested in singing. So I was one of the people that got invited there. Another person who got invited there is my friend Terry, who not sure if I'm going to be able to post it because it might get a copyright flag, whatever, but I tried to put, or I'm going to try, because I'm not to the point of uploading it yet. I'm going to try to put, I filmed it. That's what I should be saying. Wow, my transmission's all kinds of slipping again. It's this speed that it struggles with. Like, once I'm past the speed and up, the car drives great. It's just that space between first and second that it's having issues with. It's definitely time for a rebuild, or at least a servicing. So, yeah, Terry was one of the people that got involved, who got invited to that, and I saw him there, which is pretty awesome and random. He's the one that I videoed him singing A Whole Lot of Love by Led Zeppelin, and
The recording that I didn't do it justice. He sounded amazing on it. It's just hard to get good recordings of people down at the Wander Inn. And I'm almost home, so I better finish up this story. So he invited me there, and I've gone there a few times while he was doing the karaoke there. Every time went with Priscilla, and those were good date nights for us. But I quickly read the room, and Priscilla also really good at reading the room, at least when it comes to songs she sing for karaoke. That kind of music's more up her alley. It's kind of funny, like white man, black woman relationship, and her taste in music is significantly whiter than mine is. It just is what it is. I like R&B and soul and funk. That's my shit. I like old school hip hop. I like some new school hip hop. The newer stuff I'm liking is getting fewer and far between as I get old. I think that's the bottom line. I want to say as the music gets shitty, but I think the reality is I'm just getting old. But yeah, so I went there several times and I had a really good time there, and didn't make it there for a while, and I saw Billy. I forget where I saw Billy at, and I'm like, hey, you still doing that? And he's like, oh no, they got one of their own members to start hosting it. So, but good times, and I always felt very welcome when I went there. And of course, when people ask if I was a biker, I'm like, nah, not really into that. But nothing against bikers. I'm having a good time here. And yeah, they were really hospitable to me and saying all kinds of different stuff there. Anyway, I'm heading in. Thanks for coming with on the ride.